Welcome back to the Lions Word podcast. I'm here sharing another student athlete story, and I'm here with
Ashley Pines.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, studying, sport you play.
I'm a sophomore on the women's cross country and track and field team. I am a communications major. I'm 19 years old, and I'm a sophomore at Penn State.
So what brought you to Penn State?
Obviously track. In high school, my dream was to run down south, but when I toured Penn State's facilities, like nothing beat it. I was obsessed with it. I love the coaches, love the facilities, and I feel like nothing beats Penn State, like football games, team camaraderie. So that was the main thing, is track and field.
So what events do you do specifically?
I do the 800. In high school, In high school, I was more of like a middle distance runner. But then when I got to college, they decided to put me on the cross country team. So I'm more of like an 8-miler now. I'm gonna run the mile.
Just an easy 8 mile.
Yeah. just an easy 8-mile long run. Yeah.
It's super light. So when you began running, when was that?
I was 7 years old. My dad had me.
7?
7, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, my dad put me, there's a local track meet each year. It doesn't matter. It's like ages 5 to like 50. My dad even would run in it.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
And he put me in it, and I was like so nervous. I remember being in the backseat of his car, like stressing out. I was like kicking the back seat because I was like so nervous. But I won. I like crushed
At
the
7 years old.
Yes, I crushed the competition. My dad was like, "Okay, we got something here."
And did you ever think you were going to be competing for a Division I school at 7 years old when you were winning these races?
I just remember, I don't know the exact age, but I remember like my goal was to like go to the Olympics. Like I would like pray to God every night when I was like 7 years old and older, like, God, like please hope I can run Division I track and like win 5 Olympic gold medals. Like that was my dream. It's like I always knew, like I played other sports, but I love running.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just a few icebreakers to get to know you. How would your roommates describe you?
I think I'm very clean. I'm type A. I can be loud. I'm bubbly. I'm social, but I also like to have my alone time as well.
Okay, you have your own room so you can have alone time to yourself.
Yeah, own room and bathroom.
Okay, and then besides a number, so obviously track's a lot of numbers from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Besides a number, how would you define success?
Just through hard work and determination. I feel like, hard work and determination, and to give nothing less than your best.
Okay. And in what ways have you done that by being at Penn State?
I just feel like every day, just going to practice, and I know necessarily I'm not the best one on the track and field team or the cross country team, but I'm around people who are the best in the nation and the best in the world, and just using that to push me every single day in practice and just being grateful for the opportunity to be able to be here.
Yeah. And last icebreaker is the biggest difference between your sophomore and freshman year so far. I know we're only a few months in, but so far.
Just a living situation. Like
Huge difference.
Yes. I lived in South last year, and there were bats flying around, cockroaches, no AC. If you know me, I'm scared of bugs, so that was not good. But yeah, just a living situation. I feel like that's the biggest difference. Plus, I'm just more comfortable. I have my group of friends, can make my own meals, no dining hall food, so yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So now I want to jump into a little bit of your social media and recently how you've been posting so much. So actually, for instance, I just saw your 3-sport athlete one.
Yes.
When I was looking through them, I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Like, okay, wait, she plays 3 sports, but she's in college. She's only supposed to play 1.
Yeah.
Talk to me. 3 sports?
I know, it's pretty crazy. So I'm in cross country, which is fall, indoor track, which is winter, and then outdoor track, which is spring. So I'm in it all. But at the end of the day, like track's just running and lifting. So if I was that's the thing, if I wasn't in college doing a sport, I'd be going to the gym running and lifting every day. So it's really not.
So it's like a fake sport? Not a fake sport.
Not a fake sport, but it's like
you happen to be very good at.
It's not like
try to be good at.
Yeah, and it's not like I have to watch film. I don't, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not like I have to do those extra, I watch myself run and like my competitors like analyzing races, but like I feel like with softball or soccer or football and wrestling, like you have to like watch all this film and like different tech.
We could never run 8 miles, so we'll put that down right there. insane. But how did this happen with you going onto social media? What are your goals with it?
So ever since I was little, I loved making videos and like content creating. Like I remember being 7 years old and my parents would go out for date nights and I'd have a babysitter and I'd like force her to make like cooking videos with me, or when I'd have play dates and sleepovers with my friends, like we'd make music videos and stuff and like film skits. So I feel like I've always had a passion for making videos. And then I remember my senior year of high school, I was like, maybe like I'm going D1, you know, for track, like that would be cool if I made videos. And all my friends were like, yeah, do it. And I would here and there. I remember I made like a few vlogs in high school, but that was really it. And then I got to college, my freshman year, I was kind of like scared, like I was a freshman on the team, like are people gonna judge me, or people gonna think this weird, or like my hometown friends that I went to high school with, like are they gonna think this is weird, like cringy or whatever. But then this summer, going into my sophomore year, I started making like come run 8 miles with me videos and stuff like that, and that kind of like took off. And I was like, okay, we have something here. I have a passion. I love content creating, I love making new stuff, editing. It's fun for me, so.
So is that kind of where your creative hub comes from?
Most definitely. I feel like my passion is, I love health and fitness. My dad's a personal trainer, and he has his own gym, so I like grew up in like the fitness world. So, but I also love making videos, so I love like combining the two together, you know, like sharing my passion for filming, content creating with like also health related stuff and fitness and stuff like that.
Who would you say your target audience is when you create these videos?
I would say athletes, but at the same time,
I mean, I watch them, so.
Yeah. I think just like student athletes, I think it's like very relatable. I love watching other student athletes on social media because I feel like sometimes it can be like just, social media can be very fake as well, especially Instagram. And I feel like sometimes it can feel lonely, like what you're going through mentally, physically, like it can feel lonely. So I love watching people who are on the same journey as me and they're experiencing the same things and they're vulnerable about it, and just tips and tricks and advice how you manage just life and being a student athlete in college.
And almost how you flip that and make a joke out of it sometimes. I think I saw one of your videos and it was like, what NARPs wouldn't understand or something like that. And I was like, wow, they really wouldn't understand this. But, so I have a question. When you're running, do you think about the content you're going to post in your head?
Yes, I do.
Constantly.
Well, sometimes I just like talk to myself. Like sometimes when I'm struggling and I'm going through a hard time, I'm very religious. So sometimes I'm like, I'll pray or like I'll talk to God. Sometimes like my friends will be like saying something funny. I'm like, I can use that in my like content, you know, video. I'll think of just funny TikToks and trends. I try to go along with the trends. If I know that on a Saturday we don't necessarily have practice, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna film this day, this time. On Sundays, I know like I like to film meal prep videos and stuff like that. So yeah.
What's your favorite type of video to do? Is it meal prep? Is it come run 8 miles with me? What kind of video?
It would be come run 8 miles with me or come run 10 miles with me, just because I feel like people are interested in seeing stuff that's like hard to do.
And the progression of it, I also think is so cool.
Like even when I watch come run with me videos of people that go to different schools, I'm like, you're insane.
Okay, I have this question for you, and it's when you're running those 8 miles or however long you're running, do you constantly think about what type of content you're gonna put out next?
I do. I feel like sometimes that's like the only thing you can think about because it gets really long, especially when you're running by yourself. When I'm running with friends, like I'll talk to them for the first mile or two, but after that, it doesn't matter how slow we're going, I get out of breath. I'm sorry, like I don't want to talk. So it's just like thinking about my next content creation, like what's trending on TikTok, things I can incorporate my friends in, what I'm doing this weekend, how that can go into my social media, so yeah.
How do you remember that then?
I just like repeat stuff in my head. Constantly, or like I'll tell my friend, I'm like, remember this for me. So I expect them to have it in their memory.
Different strategies. Because sometimes I feel like I think about the greatest things and then I can't remember what I thought.
No, it's awful.
Yeah.
I'm like that all the time.
I'm sure you're Einstein when you're running.
Yeah.
So you talk a little about your friends and your teammates and how you incorporate them into your videos. How do you go about that?
Well, I think at first sometimes it's like, oh hey, like when I first started doing videos and everything, I felt awkward asking them to be in my videos, but now they're like, when am I going to be in your next video, Ashley?
Yes.
So it's like the expectation, but it's like I love incorporating like my day-to-day life, and my friends are in my day-to-day life and with what I'm doing, so it's just fun having them along, filming me, filming them. So
Then they go back to watch it because they're like, oh, I'm in this. So it brings.
sometimes they're like,
audience
when
as
are you posting that video I was in? I'm like, don't worry.
The pressure.
Yes.
It's coming.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And you mentioned to me a little bit before that the recruits started to like recognize you.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It's funny, but sometimes I'm like, I love like filming videos and everything, but when people are like, oh, I saw your video, I'm like, no, you didn't. That's not me. That's not me. So it's like I get like shy about it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, that's my social media face.
Yeah. That's not me in real life. Because sometimes I'm like, I need to like create content, and sometimes it's like cringy, but I'm like, who cares? But then like when someone talks about it in real life, I'm like, I didn't post that.
That's so funny. You talked a little bit about how at first it was awkward. How did you get over that initial hump?
I just feel like the more you do it, the more comfortable it gets. I feel like that's with anything in life, honestly. And just, I'm passionate about it and I love it. And when you find something you love, it becomes not necessarily easy, but it's fun to do. So,
And do you want to take this beyond your college years?
yes, that's the goal.
What's your dream job?
I have always thought that I wanted to be in sales, but yes, like my mom, but I see how people like Livy Dunn have like transformed it into a business and a brand. And I think like she was like on Sports Illustrated. I think that would be so cool to be on. I know that's like a high goal, but I feel like just stuff like that would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what would you say your X factor is on social media?
I would say my X factor is just being a student athlete, especially at Penn State. When I see other student athletes who are at Penn State posting on social media, I'm like, wow, you're insane. You know what I mean? So I feel like Penn State, a lot of people love Penn State. A lot of people are attracted to Penn State, and they want to know what you're doing to get there, you know? And I feel like that's really intriguing to a lot of people. So I'd say that's my X factor.
I think that you and all the other people who do social media that are Penn State athletes should do a collab.
Yes.
I think you'll all blow up.
Yes, I want to.
So who would be incorporated in that? You, Michael Giroux's got to be on it.
Yes, I'm trying to think who else. I feel like too, there's like, especially like with football and stuff, like
Oh, yeah.
they're guys, you know what I mean? So it's like they kind of like, but like with girls, like it's like fun they like content creating. What's her, Sophia? She's on the field hockey team.
Oh, Fia.
Fia, yeah. I feel like that'd be cool to do with
watch
her.
her TikToks all the
Yes,
time, too.
I feel, and she like went to the Olympics. I'm like, that's sick. So
Maybe it should be a female one.
yes,
A female collab.
Yes.
Social media collab.
no, I think that would be fun.
That'd be so
Yeah.
cool. You
to
talked a
get
little
on that.
bit about this is your social media face and this is your actual face.
Yeah.
How do you define authenticity on social media?
I think just like not being fake and being real. I feel like sometimes everyone has an image of they want to look the best. They want to act like everything's perfect. They act like they're always like on their top tier for like performance wise, you know, and like that's just like not reality at times. So I try to be myself. I try not to be fake, you know, and just when I feel like filming, I film. I like to film like every day. I'm not always lucky enough to film every day, but it's like just my normal life, going to class, hanging out with friends, what I'm feeling, my emotions. So just normal life.
Yeah. So if you had to give advice to somebody who maybe is feeling a little bit nervous to actually go post these videos, what would you say to them?
Just do it, especially if you have like a passion for it. I think that's the most important thing, is having a passion. And because I'll admit sometimes like I find it boring to post, or I don't have any ideas, and I'll catch myself sometimes here and there like not posting for 4 days. I'm like, come on, Ashley. But it's like you want to be passionate, because if you don't find it fun, then your audience is gonna see that and not be as interested.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
they kind of feel with you.
Exactly.
In that sense.
Yeah. And even like sometimes like I'll post and I'll do a voiceover, or like I'll do a vlog. My mom, she's the first person to watch my TikTok. She's obsessed with them. But sometimes she'll be like, Ashley, come on, like, you don't sound like happy or like this and that. And she's like, you want people to like be attracted. And like, I get that. It's like, I'll talk like this sometimes and it's like, no one's gonna like want to listen to that if I like sound miserable. But that's like, at the end of the day, like, I'm also being my authentic self. I'm not always like cheery, you know?
Exactly. So what's the current state of your social media?
So, trying to grow my Instagram more. I posted a reel on my Instagram about like cross country parents at cross country meets, and that got like,
I saw that.
Yes,
It was really funny.
It's hilarious.
I'm
because
gonna have to put a clip in.
yes,
It's
because
so funny.
I never ran cross country in high school, so I had my first cross country meet this year that I was racing in a uniform in, and my mom and I were both like, this was like our first like ever cross country meet, and like first time I was running in it, first time she was at a meet, and like we were like, this is so cool. And then I see all these parents like sprinting all over the place. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you're literally there to like go watch your kid run, but you're like also running. So that got like 1.3, that got 2 million views on Instagram. And then on TikTok, I did come run 32 laps with me around the track. That got like 1.2 million views. But yeah, my TikTok,
your way up.
yes, slowly but surely. And I feel like it's like important to remember, like sometimes like you don't get a lot of views, like the algorithm's weird, but it's like, don't let that discourage you. You want to have a passion for it, and that's like, you always have to come back to that. As long as you enjoy making the videos, that's the most important part.
Well, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So just to wrap up, is there anything we can look forward to as your audience that's coming soon on social media? Maybe ideas brewing as you run?
Well, yes, Thanksgiving is coming up, so I'll be home for like a week. So a lot of come run with me videos, and I think I'm doing a pretty fun collab with someone in the future. So
Okay, we'll keep an eye out.
yes,
And is there anything else you would like to add?
I think that's all.
Okay, my final question for you. What student athlete would you like to see on this podcast next, and what do you want them to talk about? And it can't be somebody on your team.
Okay. I don't think a specific person, but I'd say the men's Penn State wrestling team, just because I grew up a wrestling fan. My dad wrestled in college. I'm a part of a huge wrestling family, and I feel like they're not only the best sport at Penn State, but they're the best sport in the nation. And I'm just so like, I like getting advice, learning from people, and I want to know what steps they're doing, you know, to become great, and like not only like a few years in a row, but like consistently year after year after year. So just any of them, hearing what they have to say, their head coach Kale, so anyone.
Maybe you should go do a collab with them too.
Maybe.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Of course. Good. Bingo.
Yay.